All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive, and this time we're heading north.
Oh, north. Nice.
Yeah, to Canada. We're diving into the Canadian video game scene in 2024.
Always a fun place to explore.
It is, and for this deep dive, we've got a fresh report, hot off the presses, you could say.
Ooh, fresh data.
It's the economic report from the Entertainment Software Association of Canada.
ESAC.
Yeah, ESAC, and get this, even with, all the talk of economic uncertainty and everything, the Canadian game industry, they put up some impressive numbers.
Yeah, they did.
A whopping $5.1 billion
Wow.
contributed to the nation's GDP.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
That's a 3% jump from 2021.
It really is, and it's fascinating to see how that breaks down, actually.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
So you're looking at $3.9 billion. That comes directly from game development.
Okay.
And then another $1.2 billion from those indirect sources.
Right,
like all those companies that supply the industry, the spending power of the people it employs.
Right. It's
a ripple effect.
Yeah, the domino effect, it goes outward.
Exactly, yeah.
That's huge.
And here's another thing that really I found interesting.
Okay.
88%, staggering 88%
Wow.
of that revenue comes from exports.
Wow.
So Canadian studios are really creating games that resonate with players worldwide.
That's amazing. They're truly players on a global stage.
Yeah, they really are.
Global players. But I'm curious, so we see this 3% jump in revenue. What's fueling that, especially during these uncertain times?
Well, a few things, I think.
Okay.
One, you've got this increasing global demand for video games, right?
Yeah.
The industry's just been seeing tremendous growth in recent years.
It has.
And Canada, with its skilled workforce and this reputation for quality game development, they're well positioned to capitalize on that demand.
Right. It's like they're ready. They were waiting for this moment.
Exactly. And we can't forget the enduring appeal of certain game genres that Canadian studios, they kind of excel at.
Oh, like what?
RPGs, story-driven adventures.
Right.
Think about games like Mass Effect, right?
Yeah.
That originated in Canada. They've gotten international acclaim.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Helped solidify Canada's reputation as a powerhouse for those types of games.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's global demand, it's Canada's existing reputation, and the fact that they really know what they're doing in these popular genres.
Exactly.
But what about the people making these games?
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah, what's happening with employment in the industry?
Well, the report shows a bit of a dip in overall employment.
Okay.
Down about 3.5% since 2021.
Okay.
But there's an interesting shift happening within the workforce. So the percentage of full-time positions has increased, actually.
Right.
It's risen from 81% to 86%.
Interesting.
And average salaries jumped by an impressive 21%.
Wait, hold on. Decrease in the number of jobs.
Yeah.
But a big jump in salary.
That's right.
What's happening there?
I know. It's
Is it like harder to get into the industry now?
Well, it's a great question.
Yeah.
The industry is likely going through some restructuring.
Okay.
We're seeing signs of consolidation.
Okay.
Some smaller studios are either closing down or being acquired by larger companies.
Interesting.
This could explain the dip in overall employment.
Yeah.
As, some smaller teams are absorbed into those larger entities.
Right.
And the shift towards more full-time positions and those higher salaries, that could reflect a move towards more stable employment within the industry.
Okay, so it's like a maturing
Yeah.
of the industry potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
You raise a good point, though. It's something to watch closely in terms of how it might impact new talent.
Yeah, that barrier to entry.
Yeah.
So the industry may be consolidating, becoming more mature.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the studios themselves?
Right.
What does the studio landscape look like in Canada right now?
So picture this. 821 studios.
Okay.
Employing a total of 34,010 people.
Wow.
It's a diverse ecosystem.
Yeah.
With studios of all sizes contributing to the industry's success.
That's great.
Ontario, they lead in the number of studios, actually
Wow.
276, calling the province home.
Wow.
Well, Quebec boasts the highest number of employees at 15,200.
So there are clusters
Yeah. Cluster.
of game development activity across the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you mentioned some consolidation.
I did.
What impact is that having on the number of studios operating?
Well, there's been a 9% decline
Okay.
in the total number of studios since 2021.
Okay.
The majority of those impacted are what we call micro studios.
Okay.
Those with just 2 to 4 employees.
Right.
And it seems like those smaller studios are finding it tougher to navigate this current landscape.
Yeah.
The report suggests that many are either closing down or being acquired by those larger companies. And this trend is kind of mirrored in the number of solely owned companies, which rose from 52 in 2021 to 103 in 2024.
So we are seeing a trend toward bigger companies.
It seems
bigger studios? Could that potentially stifle creativity?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating to see how this trend plays out, right, in the coming years.
Yeah.
Will we see more diverse and innovative games coming from these larger studios, or will the industry's creativity be hampered by a focus on bigger budget, less experimental titles?
Right. Yeah, that's a really interesting question for the future.
Big questions.
Yeah, there are some big questions surrounding the future of game development in Canada.
Yeah.
But before we dive too deep into that, what are the experts saying about all of this?
Well, Paul Fogelin, the president of ESAC, he has some interesting insights.
Okay, let's hear it.
He really emphasized the significance of the video game industry to the Canadian economy, highlighting its role in creating high-quality jobs, driving innovation, and showcasing Canadian talent on a global stage.
It's a source of pride for them, clearly.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he also acknowledged the challenges that the industry is facing in this post-pandemic world.
Right.
And he really stressed the importance of continued investment in the industry's future.
So even with all the positive numbers, there's a sense of cautious optimism.
Right.
It's like, okay, it's strong.
It's strong, but
we need to...
But you need to adapt.
Support it.
Yeah, support.
So it can continue.
Exactly.
But what does this mean for us,
the
games we'll be playing?
Yeah.
What about those who dream of creating these games?
Those are exactly the questions we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait.
Me too.
All right, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've been talking about some pretty fascinating trends in the Canadian game development scene. But what does it all mean for the future of gaming in Canada?
Yeah, that's
like, what can we expect to see?
It's a tough question, the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not fortune tellers or anything.
Right.
But if we look at the patterns, maybe we can make some educated guesses, I think.
Okay, like, for example, the consolidation we talked about.
Right.
Larger companies absorbing smaller ones. What are the possible outcomes there?
Well, on the one hand, it could be really good for those smaller studios. Access to more resources. More stability they might not have had before.
Yeah, so they can do more.
They could tackle bigger, more ambitious projects.
Right.
Reach a wider audience.
So potentially we're talking like even more amazing games.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But, there's always another side to the coin.
Of course. Yeah, what's the flip side?
It raises the question of diversity, right?
Okay.
In the types of games being made. So if bigger companies are the ones calling the shots, will we see fewer of those quirky, innovative indie titles that Canada has kind of become known for?
Right. Yeah, those smaller, more experimental games.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see the dilemma. It's like we want those big studios to, make those big games.
Yeah.
But we also want...
But we need that.
To preserve the creativity of those smaller teams.
Yeah, the small independent team.
Yeah. So how do we ensure that Canada's gaming scene stays strong on both ends of that?
I think government support. Smart investment policies that foster a healthy ecosystem for both the big studios and those tiny startups.
Yeah, it's got to be for everybody.
It's got to be for everybody, It's about creating an environment where any studio, regardless of size, has the chance to thrive.
Right, to contribute. Exactly.
So it's not just about the economic impact. It's also about, nurturing that
creative spirit that fuels the innovation.
But what about the people who want to be part of this world?
Yeah.
How do we prepare
It's a good
the next generation of Canadian game developers to succeed in this evolving landscape?
I think education and training are absolutely crucial.
Yeah, what kind of things?
Programs that equip aspiring game devs with the skills they need.
Okay.
Not just technical skills, right? Like coding and design, but the business acumen, communication, collaboration.
Right. So it's not just
the whole package
about the code anymore. It's about understanding
the business,
the market, the whole
thing.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about the games themselves.
Okay, yeah.
What kind of games?
Do you think we might see coming out of Canada?
Right.
In the coming years, based on what we've been discussing?
Well, it's always a bit of a guessing game.
Sure.
But you can look at where Canada is already strong.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about, the success of games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, these sprawling RPGs with these deep stories, characters you really connect with.
Yeah.
And then you have, the indie darlings like Cuphead, Celeste, known for their unique art styles.
Yeah.
Innovative gameplay.
Yeah, so maybe more epic adventures, stunning visuals, and games that push the boundaries of what we even think a game can be.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
let's not forget the wild card.
Oh, what's that?
New tech, Virtual reality, augmented reality.
VR and AR.
They're opening up all these incredible new avenues for developers.
Absolutely. They have the potential to
completely change how we experience games.
What role do you think Canada might play in that?
Well, Canada's got a history of innovation.
Yeah.
Especially in tech. I think there's a huge opportunity for Canadian studios to be leading the charge in developing those immersive, groundbreaking VR and AR experiences.
Yeah, imagine exploring these vast virtual worlds or having game elements seamlessly blended with our real surroundings. It's crazy.
It's mind-blowing. It really is.
What's really fascinating for me in this whole deep dive is that we're not just looking at numbers. We're getting a glimpse into the future of entertainment.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It really does, and it seems like Canadian developers are poised to play a major role in that.
I agree. It's incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
But, we got to be realistic.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There are challenges.
Yeah.
The industry faces global pressures, economic uncertainties, fierce competition.
Yeah, from all over the world.
Yeah.
So how can Canada maintain its competitive edge and ensure its continued success?
Well, is the question that we will tackle when we return for the final part.
I'm ready. Let's take a quick break.
All right. Sounds good.
Welcome back. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, looking at the Canadian game industry.
We have.
From its economic impact to the trends shaping its future.
Absolutely.
But like we were just saying, some serious challenges ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to, staying competitive on a global scale.
Right. It's a tough world out there.
It is.
So what needs to happen?
Yeah.
What are some of those strategies that could help solidify Canada's place in this global gaming arena?
I think a multi-pronged approach is key.
Right.
And it starts with investment.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about money, although that's definitely important.
Sure, of course.
We need investment in infrastructure.
Okay.
Education, research, and development.
But it's more than just money. It's
it's the whole structure.
Yeah, it's about creating an environment where studios can, not just survive, but truly flourish.
Right.
Where innovation is encouraged and rewarded.
So it's about creating a gaming ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
Healthy and vibrant.
Yeah, that attracts top talent.
Exactly.
Encourages creativity.
And it's crucial to remember this doesn't just apply to the big players.
Right, the indies.
Yeah, the indies, those small studios with the ideas.
Yeah, those are important.
That's often where the real groundbreaking genre-bending stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure.
We need to nurture that entrepreneurial spirit.
So it's about that balance.
Yeah.
Having the big studio.
Yeah.
But also...
So there's the smaller, the indies.
Exactly.
But with the industry shifting towards more full-time roles, how do we make sure new talent can still break in?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That barrier to entry is a valid concern.
Yeah.
And that's where the education piece comes in.
Okay.
We need programs that not only teach those technical skills, the coding, the design, but also, the softer skills that are essential in today's collaborative game development world.
Like what kinds of things?
Like communication, problem solving, working effectively in a team environment.
It's about developing well-rounded game developers.
Yeah, well-rounded.
Who can adapt.
Who can adapt, yeah.
Okay, but let's zoom out a bit and talk about the global landscape.
Yeah.
We know there's fierce competition.
Yeah, there is.
From other game development hubs.
Absolutely.
All over the world. How can Canada stand out?
Right.
and make its mark on this international stage?
I think strategic partnerships
Okay.
are going to be essential.
What does that look like?
That means, Canadian studios collaborating with international studios.
Okay.
Participating in those big global gaming events.
Right, getting out there.
Yeah, making sure that, Made in Canada games are seen and played by audiences all over the world.
So it's about raising awareness.
Yeah, raising awareness, showcasing that Canadian talent.
Yeah.
And proving that Canada's a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
In the global gaming industry.
Making sure that those games that are made with passion and skill
Absolutely.
in Canada get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, on a global stage.
Canadian studios have so much to offer the world.
They do.
The creativity, innovation, a commitment to quality.
It's about getting those games out there.
Yeah.
In the hands of players.
Yeah. Everywhere.
I'm feeling really optimistic about the future of the Canadian game industry. There's a real passion for gaming there.
Yeah.
A ton of talent.
So much talent.
And a drive to create something special.
Yeah, you can feel it.
You can. And I think with the right strategies in place, Canada's gaming scene is going to continue to thrive.
Absolutely.
And innovate.
Bring us those amazing gaming experiences.
So all of our listeners out there, whether you're a hardcore gamer, an aspiring game developer,
or just someone,
or just fascinated by this world, keep your eyes on Canada.
Absolutely.
There are amazing things happening.
Amazing things.
And I have a feeling the best is yet to come.
I think so too.
The next time you're playing a game, take a moment to think about all the people who poured their heart and soul.
It takes a village.
Into making that experience possible.
It really does.
The artists.
The programmers, the writers.
The designers.
All working together.
Yeah, all those passionate individuals.
To bring that world to life.
Bringing that world to life. Who knows? Maybe the next game that blows your mind will be proudly made in Canada.
That wraps up our deep dive into the Canadian game industry.
It does.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
And until next time.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep playing, and keep that love of gaming alive.
Keep that passion.